Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a recent study shows how difficult it is for families to recover from overdose-related deaths. And Eastern Kentucky families are still recovering from the flood nearly 2 years later.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. We are coming up on 6:30 on Monday, March 18th. Now let's send it over to meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Olivia. Good morning, everyone. I don't know about you. If it wasn't the pace of the weekend, I had girls basketball championships I was calling. I emceed the St. Patrick's Day parade. I'll say Albany because obviously after a couple of months working with you, Olivia, you know I'm not in studio, and I'm sure some of you have figured that out. You're off the Facebook page, you do. So it was crazy. And if the pace of the weekend doesn't make you want to go, I want to pull the covers back over my head, this weather will. Yeah, it's 32 outside. Check out the weather headlines. Average high is 59. We're going to fall well short of that with that chilly start to the week. Those of you with the green thumb interest, guess what? Concerns tonight. You'll see why in the 7-day forecast in a few moments. Temperatures right now, 30s. A couple of us have dropped into the upper 20s. We're clear now. We've got a disturbance rotating through the flow. That means cloud cover issues today. So we average out to being partly sunny, the risk of a rain or snow shower heading through the afternoon, the high near 45. More about your first alert 7-day forecast coming up in a few moments. Olivia?
All right, Tim, thank you. More than 2,000 Kentuckians die of an overdose each year. Each death leaves behind loved ones to mourn. As Samantha Valentino shows us, a new study is taking a closer look at the lasting impact of losing someone to an overdose.
We've devoted so much research and prevention to keeping people alive. What we haven't done is really looked at the impact of these deaths on people left behind.
Julie Sorrell is a licensed psychologist and professor at UK. She's also the co-author of a new RAND study looking at the lasting impact of losing someone to an overdose. The study found that 42% of respondents know someone who has died of an overdose. 13% said their lives were disrupted by the loss. 4% said it had a significant or devastating effect.
Those people themselves might be at risk of other negative mental health outcomes or their own overdose or suicidal behavior, things like that. And it's not just other people who are using drugs who are at risk. It's family members, it's other members of their community. If it's a child, that it's other classmates.
Sorrell says the study's findings show a need for further research.
We really need to figure out, in order to prevent future overdoses, how many people who are overdosing or who are using drugs in a dangerous way are doing so because they know someone in their lives who have used drugs or who have overdosed. How does knowing somebody who has overdosed really lead to mental health trajectories in people?
From there, Sorrell says we can better understand how to help those struggling to cope with the loss of a loved one who's died by an overdose. In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
The study also found that people in New England and the South Central region, including Kentucky, were most likely to know someone who died of an overdose. Sunday marked the beginning of National Poison Prevention Week. Kentucky's Poison Control Center is highlighting ways to keep families and children safe. In 2023, 65% of calls to poison control involved prescriptions, over-the-counter medications, or supplements. Maria Chapman with the Kentucky Poison Control Center of Norton Children's says anything can be poisonous if it's used in the wrong way or by the wrong person. The best rule of thumb, she says, is to treat over-the-counter medications and vitamins with the same respect you would a prescription.
Storing them up and out of reach of children, keeping them in the original child-resistant containers. Even if it's in a blister pack, keep it in the original container so you know what it is you have there. And then just having a system for giving medication to kids.
Last year, the center responded to more than 34,000 cases. If you ever find yourself in a poisoning emergency, people can call the 24/7 hotline. Norton is hosting a virtual class teaching parents safe storage techniques. With spring officially starting this week, it is important to keep things in your car safe. London Police Public Affairs Officer Hobie Dottie says more people are out with warmer weather, adding it is important to be safer than sorry by keeping your doors locked and making sure there are no valuable items left in the car.
No, just in general, just to remain vigilant with your belongings. You know, keep your doors locked and don't have anything valuable left in your vehicle. Because, like I said, with the warmer weather, people are going to be out and about more on foot.
Darty says to also double check if you are unsure about the status of your vehicle, adding it is important that if you see any suspicious activity to report it. It's been nearly 2 years since the devastating floods in eastern Kentucky. For some survivors, getting back into their homes has been a nightmare. As Alyssa Williams reports, FEMA and Team Rubicon stepped up to make that process a little easier.
Nearly 2 years after eastern Kentucky's devastating floods, several people are still working to rebuild their lives, like Tina Johnson of Breathitt County.
Yeah, it's been hell. That's what it's been, a nightmare. Really has.
Johnson opted to not be on camera, but still wanted to share her story. She says the flood claimed her home on Lost Creek that she shared with her boyfriend.
We were staying in our vehicle, our truck, and then we were staying here and there with friends. But yeah, it was a while before we got into a camper.
The couple eventually bought a home, but it was also severely damaged from the flood and in need of repairs.
We're so exhausted, and he's sick, so it's pretty much been me without any help. Being so close and being tired and not being able to do it anymore. I mean, I was at the point of giving up.
That's when Johnson's disaster case manager connected her with Team Rubicon.
I am so grateful because I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
Several volunteers from Team Rubicon and FEMA were at Johnson's home on Saturday, helping to provide the finishing touches she needs to move in.
Our job is to go in there and help them, to get them situated and say, look, you're not by yourself. We are here.
Not only have volunteers given Johnson help, but they've given her hope. And she believes that her story can provide that for others, too.
So don't give up. There's still people out there, people that still care.
In Breathitt County, Alyssa Williams at WKYT.
Governor Andy Beshear visited Trimble County Saturday, meeting with those impacted by severe storms that ripped through northern Kentucky and South Indiana Thursday. Beshear and local leaders got a first look at the damages and rebuilding efforts. State emergency crews were deployed to affected areas for cleanup and power restoration. Many of those efforts also coming from surrounding communities in both Kentucky and across the bridge in Indiana.
I think it shows a lot about community and sticking together and just helping each other when these disasters occur, and that's the beauty of our small knit community and coming together.
They truly show our faith and our values at times like this, giving people a hug, letting them know that it's going to be okay, going above and beyond. And remember, many of these folks behind me were impacted themselves, but they're right here helping people out.
The hardest hit counties in Kentucky were Carroll, Gallatin, and Trimble. Relief efforts are also still underway across the bridge in Hanover, Indiana, also impacted by an EF1 tornado. Both of those tornadoes were part of several that ripped through the Midwest Thursday, damaging hundreds of homes and killing at least 3 people. With new updates and a later start date this year, FAFSA applications have the potential to be more stressful this year compared to years past. South Central Kentucky Community and Technical College is teaming up with the Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority for FAFSA Fun Days to help. The event is aimed to pair families up with the financial advisors to help with the application process.
Sometimes if students get hung up on a question or something, then they might just abandon and not finish submitting it. So we like to help them with that, and we want to make sure that when they leave here that either we've answered all their questions or we at least got them to the next point where we can help them finish before they start school.
SKY-CTC financial officials say the college offers aid for all students regardless of if they attend SKY-CTC or not. Officials with the London Police Department are gearing up for the second annual Logan Medlock Memorial Bass Fishing Tournament. The tournament is on May 4th at Grove Marina in Corbin. Sergeant Medlock was killed by a drunk driver in 2022. Folks can either donate items, money, or sign up as a fisherman. Public Affairs Officer Hobie Darty says this tournament is a way to keep his legacy alive and support his family.
At this time, we're still looking for donations to go towards that. All the proceeds will go to the family of fallen officer Sergeant Logan Medlock. And really, it's just about keeping his legacy alive and a part of this community. He was a very big part of the community. Was known as a great man here.
Darty says you can contact him or visit the police department to sign up or find drop-off locations. You can find more information about this event on WYMT.com. We have several mountain teams hoping for a little luck in the KHSAA Boys Sweet 16 tournament this week. One group of women in Perry County is working to make sure a local team and its student fans are fed on their trip to Rep Arena. The Perry County Democratic Women's Club got together to create snack kits for the Commodores as they get ready to hit the road on Tuesday. President of the club, Sherry Spradlin, says her experience being a basketball mom encouraged her to provide snacks to the Commodores.
And so when these kids have to ride a bus, 2-3 hours to go get to an event, they get hungry, and it's expensive. And we have some wonderful local businesses who are helping to sponsor to pay for the big things. So we just thought we'd all get together and donate a bunch of snacks and have those for the team.
Perry Central will have 5 busloads of kids going to Rupp Arena, and Spradlin said they planned on having enough snacks for all of them.
And a good Monday to you. Temperature-wise this morning, we're in the 30s. Williamsburg, though, checking in at 28. Manchester at 29. We're doing 35 your way at Ashland, and out of Pikeville, it is 32. Satellite weather composite showing some clouds from earlier on the overnight period. Now we're tracking a few more clouds coming in from the west. Don't worry, we get some sunshine this morning, but temps aren't going to warm up like they did last week into the 60s and 70s. We're stopping in the mid-40s today as a cold flow continues and this disturbance drops through, meaning, yes, the risk of a rain or snow shower as we head through this afternoon. And after being in the mid-30s at 9 a.m., we'll only do the lower 40s by the lunch hour and topping out at 45 this afternoon. Do we have any quick warm-up in sight? Oh, fingers crossed, right? First Alert 7-day forecast with all the details coming up in a few moments. Olivia?
All right, thanks, Tim, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:41. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. Israel announces a new operation overnight after saying a hospital in Gaza was being used as a base for senior Hamas leadership.